Okay, this morning we're going to try a little sheetrock repair. I had a little plumbing problem, and we had to replace part of an old pipe with PVC. Now I get lucky enough to have to patch the ceiling. So first thing I'm going to do is I just marked it off. I'm going to square off the hole. I figured it'll be a lot easier to put in a piece that's square. So I'm going to cut this out, try and make it nice and square, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, I got everything pretty much squared off. You may be wondering why I didn't cut this straight here, and the reason being is this is screwed to the beam already, and I didn't want to take any of the strength away from this part of the ceiling, so I'll just adjust in my piece of sheetrock. I think it makes more sense. But what I do need to do now is I'm going to take a few measurements across here. I'm going to have to add in some wood that I could use for supports because I have a beam on one side but I have nothing on the other, so the sheetrock needs to be able to adhere to something, so that'll be my next step. Okay, so what I've done is I cut out a couple of pieces of wood. Now some of these are actually like freestanding pieces that are in here. I'm actually going to use the sheetrock on each side to help hold it. I actually do have it wedged between two pieces of wood, but I'm going to put a couple of screws in the sheetrock here and then in the new sheetrock to hold it. This way that should give it some strength to stay up there because you need something to screw to. So my next step is going to be to cut out a piece of sheetrock and then see what we can do with this. Alright, I just cut out my piece, but I just realized I should probably, in case you've never cut sheetrock before, I just wanted to give you an idea. It's one of those things where you don't have to cut through it. Here's just a piece of scrap. But you just basically cut. I'm just doing this one-handed, so don't mind me while I tape. Then you could literally snap it, and then once you snap it, you could just take it and just cut it through and pop it off. So sheetrock does cut pretty easy. So if you've never cut a piece before, I just wanted to give you an idea of how to do that. Alright, I cut out my piece of sheetrock and I just put it up and put one screw in to hold it into place. Now I just need to screw around. I actually wound up switching it up and I did cut out this other piece. I didn't like the way it looked with it. I mean, I would have taped over it, but I just didn't like the way it was sitting, so I changed my mind on that. When you put in your screws now, you got to make sure you countersink your screws. They have to sit below the sheetrock so you can spackle over them. So I'm going to put up my screws and we'll start from there. Okay, I got my new piece screwed up. Like I said, you got to countersink each one of the holes for the screws so you can spackle over them. Don't worry about like the gaps here because that's all going to get covered with tape anyway. So this looks pretty good. I think we're ready to at least start spackling.